In the last few months, one of the horror films I've watched that has managed to scare me and astound me simultaneously is The Descent. Directed by Neil Marshall, he managed to balance fear-igniting scenes that become the film's main attraction and emotional scenes that make the audience attached to these characters. But my fascination with the film is not only that, but also how the film successfully shows catharsis. Before we continue, let me explain more about catharsis. Catharsis and cathartic both trace to the Greek word
καθιαραΐν,
meaning to cleanse or purge. Defined by Merriam-Webster, catharsis is a purification or purgation that brings about spiritual renewal or release from tension. In history, catharsis was used in some of the most famous theories. In Aristotle's Poetics, the book relates catharsis to tragedy, one of the few genres of the drama mentioned in the book. Aristotle states that the purpose of tragedy is to arouse terror and pity, and thereby affect the catharsis of these emotions. In the book, he uses catharsis as a sort of process of emotional cleansing or purgation, which is experienced by the audience through the depiction of powerful and often tragic events within the tragedy genre. Another famous theory that uses catharsis is the psychoanalytic theory. In their book Studies on Hysteria, Freud and Breuer defined catharsis as the process of reducing or eliminating a complex by recalling it to the conscious awareness and allowing it to be expressed. In this theory, catharsis is used to represent the process of release of repressed emotions and the resolution of internal conflicts, which in essence allows individuals to confront and process complex feelings, leading to a sense of emotional relief. If the explanation before sounds familiar, it's because that is the story beats or the plot points for The Descent. The film follows the same route as someone who is experiencing catharsis. In the film, our main character Sarah goes through a journey full of horrors, which symbolizes her confrontation and resolution of her complex, repressed emotions. Let's dive deeper into the film to understand it better. The plot of the film follows Sarah on her cave exploring trip with her friends, which forcibly turns into a race against time. At the beginning of the film, we see her trauma. As the film progresses, we see her character is more withdrawn. Hints throughout the film shows that her character is repressing that painful memory. When Sarah and her friend get trapped in the cave, intensity builds, and she moves closer to her breaking point. As she goes in deeper into the cave, she faces the cave dwellers for her life, which pushes her even more to her breaking point. So when the truth opens up relating to her trauma, she breaks. And that breaks helps her to fight against the cave dwellers and survive the whole nightmare. As the main character, Sarah is our vehicle for understanding catharsis, and all along the film, we see her conscious, preconscious, and unconscious, the three elements that compose the human mind according to Freud's unconscious mind theory, showing up and influencing her in this journey. At the start, Sarah is dictated by her conscious mind, her decision-making, and the choices that she took, action, all happen from her own conscious choice. But as Sarah goes deeper and further into the cave, her preconscious mind starts to become more prevalent, which alerts Sarah of her unresolved trauma. But when she and her friend got lost in the cave and got terrorized by the cave dwellers, Sarah finally recalled her unconscious mind to the conscious. While she may have refused her preconscious mind before in the film, when the trauma she experienced in the cave recalled her unresolved emotions, she finally sees how the past has held her down and processed those repressed emotions. But the film not only uses the plot as her allegory to confront her repressed memory, but also uses symbolisms of catharsis and infuses it into the film. While The Descent is about her journey to confront the unconscious, it is also literally about her journey to her unconscious mind. The cave where she got trapped can be seen as a symbol of her unconscious mind. Inside it, it's dark and never-ending, which mirrors Sarah's unconscious mind, which is also the inspiration for the cave, which is why it mirrors her mind. Both of them, the cave and Sarah's unconscious mind, are linked. They are one another. So by bringing Sarah to the cave, the film initiates the catharsis process for her. Sarah enters the cave, which is actually her unconscious mind, and fights off the cave dwellers, which represents the repressed memories that try to pull and sink her down. By physically fighting in the cave, the film literally visualizes the concept of catharsis to the eyes of the audience, to not only heighten the tension of the film, but also equate it with Sarah's current emotional state. So as the film nears its end, we see the result of the catharsis. She sees her repressed memory now as just her past, and uses that as her willpower to break through the cave. But of course, it doesn't really happen. It's just in her mind, while in reality, Sarah is still stuck in the cave. All this reinforces the breakthrough she has achieved, finally being able to process her complex unresolved emotions from past trauma that has held her back. This fake ending, I'm gonna use this word again, literally visualize her going out from her unconscious mind. In conclusion, The Descent masterfully intertwines Sarah's harrowing physical journey with her intense psychological journey toward catharsis. By depicting her descent into the cave as a metaphor for delving into the depths of her unconscious mind, the film uses its plots and symbolic elements to explore the process of confronting and purging repressed emotions. The cave, as a representation of Sarah's unconscious mind, and the cave dwellers' embodiments of her unresolved trauma, create a powerful narrative that resonates with the concept of catharsis. Through this journey, Sarah experiences a profound emotional release and transformation, illustrating the timeless and universal power of catharsis in storytelling. And the film not only frightens its audience, but also provides a deeper, more meaningful experience by vividly portraying the catharsis process, making it stand out in the horror genre, especially in the last 20 years.
Sensational. And that's the word you're looking for.
Exactly.
That's all, folks.
Thank you everyone for watching. I want to express that Freud's theories aren't universally accepted by contemporary scientific standard, especially the weird ones. However, I found this kind of theory as a great starting point for analyzing the psychological depth and symbolic layers of this film. So that's why I used it.